going out there in Facebook land and YouTube land. I'm currently in Spring Hammock Preserve, and I'm taking my my Saturday morning walk through the woods. I've got my trusty camera, my Sony Alpha A200, and as I said, I'm kind of in the middle of the woods right now. The sun's coming up, and it's real pretty out here. So I'm going to try doing something that I haven't done yet. I'm going to go ahead and attach this to my little vest here, and I'm just going to kind of walk through the woods with you guys, so you can watch if you want. I may say a few things here or there as I'm going, but most of it is just going to be, me walking through the woods. It may be a little bouncy, a little bit of shaky cam, so if it is, I'm sorry, but it ought to be a nice little view. I want to stay quiet for the most part, because there's a lot of sounds that you'll hear out here. Lots of birds making noise, and it's real pretty. So if you want to come along, I'm going to go ahead and flip this around and attach this to my backpack, and we're going to go. Oh, by the way, this is a really neat bridge that goes across some of the water that's in the park. To my right here, you can see there's a hollowed out cypress, goes all the way up, but looks like this one's pretty dead, but it's got a nice hollow out all the way through to at least 3/4 of the way up. So I'm sure some critters take shelter in here every once in a while. The last big storm that we had seems to have brought down a lot of deadfall. You can see that ripped up these guys by the roots. It's pretty swampy out here, so if they don't have a good root structure or they get a good stiff breeze, not surprised that it brings some of them down. Come out to the team that's out here. There's several creeks that run through the park and connect with one another, but you can see that this has got a pretty sandy bottom here, but real pretty. Color's a little orange. I don't know if that's from the sand, or hopefully it's not too much pollution, but anyway, it's still real pretty. All right. One of the things that I wanted to do while I was out here is I wanted to go ahead and put my wife's favorite tree on my GPS. I've got a little GPS tracking app that I can go ahead and put different waypoints onto. And last time I was out here, I wasn't paying attention, and I walked right past this tree. Didn't get it on my waypoint checklist. So I'm gonna come out to it and I'll show you. I think I've gone live with this tree before. Like I said, this is the tree I kind of dedicated to my wife because she absolutely loves cypress, and especially the big ones. So this is one of the biggest ones in the park, at least that I've seen so far. So it's a real beaut. And I'm going to try and put this on the waypoint without stopping my live broadcast. If we cut out, I'm sorry, I'll go ahead and do a part 2. But I'm going to try and do this on my phone without losing my live feed. Okay, so I did interrupt for a bit, but at least I didn't have to start a new video. But as I said, the reason we cut out there for a minute was that I was taking a waypoint on my waypoint manager for my I've got a little GPS app that's where I'm going, and I like it because I can go ahead and take I can take a picture of each of my waypoints when I'm doing it, and then that picture is actually saved directly to the waypoint. So when I'm out, or if I want to show somebody where I've been, I can show them the trail, and then I can actually show them a picture from where each location is on the map. We're coming to another boardwalk here. There's a couple of these throughout the park, and unfortunately, one of the best ones, the one that goes out to Lake Jessup, it's closed. And as you can see, this one, it's not closed, but it's also starting to kind of fall apart. I'm interested. At one point, I'm thinking, of course, I always take on a million tasks. ADHD, like I said, you get sidetracked with a lot of different things. You get all these ideas, and you start them, and then you don't always finish. But I would like to possibly at some point start a fund to maybe save some of these boardwalks, because these are some of the best parts of this park. They go deep into the woods and into the swamp, and you really get to see what everything looks like and what it's like deep in the bayou. So, but you can see this one's kind of falling apart here already. It's pulling apart there. It's got a little observation point, so you can kind of look down the stream. And then this one is closed, so I'm assuming that parts of the boardwalk have been completely fallen apart, so that you can't actually walk on them, or at least not safely. just heard an interesting sounding bird, I think. It made a strange buzzing kind of honk. I'm wondering if I can see it. No, I don't see it yet. As you can tell, I'm probably not the stealthiest person in the world. I do make a lot of noise out here. Sometimes I do scare up some of the critters. But I try, and I've gotten some neat shots of some of the birds that are out here. Yeah, Jessica, it is really beautiful out this morning. The weather is fantastic. And, you don't always get this great weather in Florida. It's so hot all the time, but I got advantage this morning. Been doing a little bit of exploring that I'll probably talk about later. But yeah, it's a beautiful morning. I've got a sweatshirt on. I'm just now starting to sweat. I'll probably take my sweatshirt off here in a little bit, but when I got out this morning, it's 51 degrees, at least by the thermometer on my car. When I turn around here, you can see the sun filtering through the trees here. It's real pretty. Jessica, this is out in Spring Hammock Preserve. Tara knows it as the Seminole County Conservation Center, but it's connected to a place called Spring Hammock Preserve right here in Seminole County, just north of Winter Springs. It's got a lot of trails that come through here, and then there's some actually off of the preserve as well. One of these days I'm going to take some shots of one of the trails that actually goes under the overpass, and actually there's a little tunnel that goes under the overpass, which is really kind of cool. Yeah, it is by the Mudwalk. It's the same place. I'm actually on the other side of the trail, which is kind of the opposite side of the Mudwalk. But yes, it is best known for the Mudwalk, and I probably should say that because I've never actually been on the Mudwalk. So one of these days, when my son gets old enough, he'll go to the same school out here and do the Mudwalk. So yeah, it's definitely out by the Mudwalk. We've got some deadfalls in the creek, and you always see the water backs up, and you get a lot of debris. But I always think it's neat. It makes it their own little natural dams. don't know if you can hear that. We definitely got some birds talking. This is cool. Tara loves this part too. There's a palm tree that goes across the trail here, and it's practically horizontal. Fell over, probably storm or whatever, but it it's still growing, and it's starting to, as you can see, it's starting to curve right here. It's starting to curve upwards, and you'll see this throughout the park where palm trees have they curve around the trees in the sun and continue growing. This one actually fell over, but apparently its root structure is still intact and must still be in the ground because it still seems to be growing fairly well. Ooh, that scared somebody. There's another cool part of the trail where this is a little pond that's formed here. And what'll happen is when it rains hard, this will overflow and go into the river. But you got this little depression here right next to the trail. Here we've got another lazy palm, actually, because it's laying down on the ground and curving upwards right up into the sun. Got some wildflowers out here on the trail. Got a little clearing here. Give you a little bit larger view of the ooh. Hope you were able to hear that. There was the wind coming through the trees. It was real pretty. Now this palm, it fell over. It doesn't look like it made it. Now it's just an obstacle on the trail. My old army boots, they've definitely come in handy because it's muddy out here. Here we've got another spot where a tree has fallen on the trail, and it's been there long enough. The chute to the trail has sprung up. Goes around it. Something is banging. It sounds big. I don't know what that is. Whatever it is, it sounds big. Can you hear that? Oh, it's a woodpecker. I think. Oh, it's a big bird or whatever it is. It's hitting on the hollow tree. So it's making this big thumping. I thought maybe I was coming across a bear or something. I think I scared it off. Might have been a woodpecker. It was a big bird. It was banging on the end of this tree and making a big thumping sound. Might have just been another, I don't know what kind of bird it was. But, so you never know what you're going to come across out here. And this part of the trail is actually collapsing into the creek. There's definitely some erosion going on here, and it's definitely starting to fall apart. I just got a high temperature warning on my phone, which means I'm probably running it too hard. So I think this is where I'm going to sign off. But that's the most I need to show you anyway. So hope you enjoyed.